Our teaser opens on a ship docking at a station that's said to serve as this movie's setting. We get the familiar Alien trailer blaring sound. I will give this teaser credit for 3 inclusions of the footage. Firstly, my hat's off to this preview for the tracking shot of the space station, playing the background audio of the crew encountering and evading the alien menace.
Come on, help me, please. No, get it away.
This is a cleverly gratifying framing device that checks multiple boxes all at once. Firstly, it gives viewers a tour of the setting absent any characters, just their voices, which allows us to get an idea of the surroundings this film will take place in. Secondly, the vacancy of any characters and just the panic in their voices clues us into the terror that they, and by extension we, are in for. This perfectly sets the mood of this sci-fi horror. Next, I give this teaser credit for what it doesn't show us. Be honest, how many times have you watched a 3-minute trailer and you just know that the marketing team has just given away the entire movie and there's no surprises left? Considering that this trailer spends half its runtime with the long tracking shot, it doesn't give away any or many scenes or scares. Because, honestly, it ain't got the time to. Finally, not only does the camera angle treat us to blood-stained biopods and a pooling blood in a cryo bed, the panic of the character audio escalates alongside the intensity of the gruesome visuals we're shown. The fact that the most grisly part of the scene that we're shown is only the aftermath of the carnage jogs the mind into awaiting with bated breath all the suspense that leads up to that bloodshed. Now, look at all these components I just mentioned that this teaser gives us, all at the same time, and manages to accomplish all that in 30 seconds flat. Environment, ambiance, expectation, anxiety. The tracking shot went on for so long that I incorrectly presumed that the entire teaser was going to assume this minimalist approach, and honestly, I would have been fine with that. Masterfully done. And mind you, this ingredient was only the first feature of this teaser I was impressed with. The second component that I feel says a lot while showing very little was the brief glimpse of a character in a spacesuit as well as clutter around him floating in a weightless chamber. Not only is this an original inclusion in a series with almost 10 installments, but it's such a no-brainer of an addition you almost wonder why it was never previously presented. The Alien franchise started life as a contrast to the optimistic portrayal of the future compared to the likes of Star Wars and Star Trek, not just with its eponymous villain, but also in its scenery. Cramped, claustrophobic corridors, industrial-looking habitats that paint a less than rosy depiction of life amongst the stars. It only makes sense that we see a scene where these controls are compromised to the point of creating zero-G conditions. Within the context of the scene, it gets one guessing as to the implications involved. Are these hostile xenomorph lifeforms so shrewd that they're able to cut the power to their prey's environmental systems?
What do you mean they cut the power? How could they cut the power, man? They're animals.
After all, considering that the alien can walk on walls and slither through panels, it ain't exactly like they have any need for gravity. The final item of praise I have to give this teaser is the facehugger barrage. Now, considering that the cargo that these parasites carry and the perfect organism that they grow into has always gotten the lion's share of the attention, I've always thought that these spider-legged, scorpion-tailed skitters shouldn't be treated as a means to get to the soldier alien, just to be discarded as a mere plot device. With that in mind, it's good to see them featured as what I assume is a late-game entry into the plot. We've already seen what a horde of its bigger brothers can accomplish. Now let's all witness the havoc that a swarm of these head crabs can wreak. So, with all this enthusiasm for the trailer, why is it that I'm so hesitant to give it my seal of approval? Simple. Because I have a functioning memory. I've been burned by this franchise way too many times. Not only is Romulus the 9th entry, the Alien IP has had dual sequels, a pair of prequels, double crossovers, and a partridge in a pear tree. Bruh. Standards have been lacking, to say the least. Ironically enough, the man that was supposed to be handling quality control, Ridley Scott, the original director, well, he ain't the guy. He's out of touch as well as excuses. He's had 2 chances up at bat to turn this game around, and he struck out both times. Ridley's addition in a demoted role as a producer is a red flag, and for all the talk of his declaration that this film is amazing, yeah, your endorsement is absent any relevancy, and I'll believe it when I see it, not you. Sadly, the man in the director's chair, Fede Alvarez, is in such a bad career funk, it's not even that he's been wildly inconsistent. After the Don't Breathe movies and Netflix Chainsaw Massacre, he's had over a decade and he's amounted to a one-hit wonder with the Evil Dead remake as his singular, worthwhile contribution. Keep another piece of sobering reality in mind. This series hasn't spawned even a decent sequel in 38 years. And whether this upcoming entry will break that streak, well, the jury's still out on that one. I will watch this movie because it's a sequel to my favorite movie monster, and sadly, with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine, it's the only worthwhile summer release this year. Shout out to former Fox franchises, I guess, but not only is this movie going to have to earn my praise, I will reserve judgment until the end credits roll, not before. And frankly, and that's all I've ever been with you guys, along with witty and hysterical, if the best parts of the movie wind up just lazily recycling the best parts of the franchise, then that's an L, and I'll be right back on here to lambast it. I ain't in this for a glorified fan film or studio-mandated ripoff. To hell with the almighty requels. It was a mistake to begin with. The Halloween trilogy and recent Exorcist Believer prove that. And to hell with the recent Scream movies for perpetuating this trash. In 2024, this series turned 45 years old. Make something original, craft something creative, and stop taking the easy way out with nostalgia baiting. And featuring a scene of a chick holding a pulse rifle ain't gonna get the job done, and in fact, undermines all the suspenseful goodwill the teaser built up if you're just going to rely on the legacy weaponry and delve into guns blazing.
Please, kill me.
I've heard of cutting the tension with a knife, but the hand cannon negates the horror with action exploits. The presence of the series' trademark firearm would have impeded the fear factor if included anywhere in the preview at all. But the fact that they ended the teaser on that note sends a concerning message to longtime fans. While the long tracking shot at the beginning left me anticipatory as to how all this will play out and build up, The sight of that gun just leaves me asking all the wrong questions. Is this movie going to misguidedly attempt to hybridize action and horror? Are they going to skillfully ratchet up the pulse-pounding apprehension just to burst the bubble through the safety of the pulse rifle? Did they just spoil the ending of The Final Girl with an even worse decision to recreate a Ripley final showdown?
Please, kill me.
The full trailer is obviously on the way, as we've got 3 months left until release date. Just remember, cautious optimism doesn't mean getting your hopes up. I've been Inkarnate reminding you, I ain't just a big deal, I'm the real deal.
Let's rock!
If you're resigned to your fate, time to subscribe to your fears.
Warn your friends. Warn everyone.